First of all, I got so many things to bounce off there. First of all, I said it was impossible for Islam to land a head kick on Ian Garry. I was wrong. He head kicked him right in the lips. He toad punched his mouth box and got him wobble legged. But what can I ask you, Goo? What did you expect going in from Ian Garry, who has a lot of decision wins in the UFC, versus Islam Makhachev, who's kind of known for, I mean, he does finish people, but he's also, you know, the way he won the belt was 25-minute control fest.
Tonight was set up for the upset. I felt like the upset could happen tonight with so much on the line, all the records that Islam has, and he's going to break Anderson Silva's record. There's weight classes for a reason. Ian Garry is a big, rangy, strong guy who has great takedown defense. I mean, if you look at his takedown defense tonight against Islam, it was impressive. I felt like, I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct in that 5th round, you know, he had been beating him to the body. Islam's whole, I think, right side was beat up. His face was beat up. You don't come out and hug and shake hands. And that drives me fucking crazy when there's so much at stake. And there's also a lot of mental gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it in this game. You come out in that 5th round with a flying knee or something crazy and you try to finish the fight. I think that this is one of those fights that Ian will go back and watch and say, fuck.
Makhachev did what he had to do to get the win.
Exactly.
Because Ian Garry was very tricky for him. Good takedown defense, good get-ups.
And Ian Garry was doing all of his damage was in the clinch, was up against the fence. He was punching him. Those shots, the reason Islam's face looked like that wasn't because Ian Garry was standing on the outside throwing 1-2s and cracking him with these big punches. A lot of that damage was inside, punching him like that. And Ian Garry's in his cardio, he was in such crazy, phenomenal shape because that wrestling, that grappling is no joke when you have a Dagestani, the #1 guy in the world.
Dustin Poirier said Islam Makhachev's dominance was exactly what he expected, but Ian Garry's toughness genuinely surprised him. Poirier believed Islam had a real chance of finishing the fight in the 4th or 5th round, especially after noticing the major strength difference in certain grappling positions. Even so, he gave Garry credit for his defensive wrestling and his ability to survive dangerous scrambles, making it clear that Ian understood exactly how to handle himself in those situations.
Ian Machado, that's kind of the way I thought the fight was gonna go. I could have got a submission, I thought, but I thought he was gonna grind him out.
I thought he was gonna finish him 4th, 5th round. I thought he'd be able to get him. The strength looked like there was worlds of strength difference in certain positions, right? Like Makhachev got to certain positions and Ian didn't matter if he was a natural 170 or whatnot. He was just getting tossed around, you know. Makhachev.
But he did show some good control. He didn't control him like he did those other 55ers.
Chael Sonnen delivered a powerful message to Ian Garry after the fight. He acknowledged that Ian is still young and has plenty of time ahead of him, but warned that thinking you can always wait for another opportunity can become dangerous. Chael's point was simple. Great fighters need urgency. If there is something you truly want to accomplish, you cannot constantly push it into tomorrow. The time to make that move is today.
Ian Garry said after the fight, he spoke about how old he is, and then instantly used that as a bridge to say, I have plenty of time. And there's few things in life that I have seen people get wrong more than that. And it starts right at home with mom and dad. Mom and dad will tell their kids, you have time. Oh, you're young. Oh, there's plenty of time for that. No, there's not. You have an urgency or you don't. If there is something you want to get done, but it's not something you're willing to do today, if there's something that you know has got to get started and the finish could be something really beautiful.
Israel Adesanya was visibly stunned by the level of control Islam Makhachev displayed. He described Islam's ability to maintain dominant positions and control exchanges as something operating on an entirely different level. At the same time, Adesanya wanted Ian Garry to stay more active and keep moving. He pointed out that Ian becomes far more dangerous when he takes initiative, sets the pace, and forces his opponent to react.
He just held it. He's like, nah. Activate back. Oh! Fuck. Oh, nah, this is levels. What the fuck? Yeah, nah. He can't keep doing this. He's the best.
Nice, but I want him to move.
Islam Makhachev once again showed why he is considered one of the elite fighters in the sport. DJ reacted to the performance by praising Islam's composure, world-class grappling, and ability to control nearly every phase of the fight against Ian Garry. Even when Garry tried to stay active and create opportunities, Islam continued dictating the pace. The reaction from DJ perfectly captured why Makhachev remains such a difficult opponent to solve.
He's the fucking best. Passes guard. Ian Garry's jiu-jitsu is actually really good. One of the things that Islam's doing very well right now is he's always staying outside that lead leg each time he strikes. Or if he goes in front, he's going super wide. That's why Ian Garry's having a hard time reaching him. And in Islam, when he gets close, he starts creeping outside that lead leg. It's because his head's on the outside. That's why each time Ian Garry's able to do that defense.
Several MMA analysts questioned Ian Garry's urgency during the final round. They felt that Ian appeared to recognize that he was behind on the scorecards, yet did not take the level of risk expected in a championship fight. With the title at stake, they wanted to see Garry fight as though everything depended on those final minutes. Instead, they believed he did not show enough aggression to create the dramatic comeback he needed.
You don't know what's going to happen in your next fight. I think for Ian, almost to accept seemingly, because there was no agency in that final round, there was no determination, there was no willingness to go, right, I'm down on the scorecards, more than likely, down on the scorecards. But he knew that, because at the end of the fight, when they read out the 2-4-1s, Ian nods his head and goes, yeah, that's fair. So going into that last round, in his own mind, he's thinking, well, I'm 3-1 down. Where's the agency to go, UFC title fight, man? This could be the only chance of my life to fight for UFC gold. You know what? I may as well get carried out. I may as well get woken up in the center of the octagon and the stars over me head.
Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson was particularly surprised by Islam Makhachev's head kick and the damage it caused. What stood out even more was Ian Garry's ability to recover after being rocked. Rather than falling apart under pressure, Garry remained composed and found a way to survive moments where many fighters could have been finished. Still, the performance only added to the argument that Islam belongs at the very top of the pound-for-pound rankings.
But that was around 2 when he sent him on ice skates, bro. That was when I felt it through my body, like nervous system was like, what the fuck? And I think when he had a high crotch at one point, it almost spiked him. But that head kick, I can't remember how he set it up. It was off the fence, coming off. Then it was off the left hand as well, just effortless. Yeah. And good for Ian to recover, stay composed, and not get finished, because most men would have got finished in that point.
Yeah,
especially when you get hurt like that as well. Yeah, crazy fight. And again, this just, I think this still, like already it's, Islam stock is up here. He's the pound for pound best.
Ian Garry could look back at this fight and wonder whether he should have pushed the action much harder. Ariel Helwani noticed something interesting late in the contest. Islam Makhachev appeared increasingly exhausted, while Garry still seemed to have another gear available. Helwani suggested that Ian may have been closer than many recent opponents to genuinely challenging Islam's dominance. And that raises the biggest question of all. Could Garry eventually regret not taking that final opportunity?
Will he regret this? I'm watching that as well. I'm thinking like, man, I felt like there was another gear. He was not breathing heavily. Islam was. I felt like there was something more, and it felt like he was closer than anyone in recent memory to finally unseating the great Islam Makhachev.
Din Thomas is not ready to crown Islam Makhachev the greatest fighter of all time just yet. In his view, championship defenses still carry enormous weight when comparing Islam with legendary names such as Anderson Silva, Demetrius Johnson, and John Jones. Thomas recognizes how impressive Islam's move to 170 pounds is, but believes John Jones still has the stronger GOAT case for now.
Back to Islam, has he surpassed Khabib as the GOAT? Or anybody?
He came up to 170. He came up to 170. That's a whole other battle.
Okay, is he the GOAT now? Is Islam the GOAT now?
I'm not saying that yet, only because I'm still old school with title defenses mean a lot.
Yeah.
And you go back to Anderson Silva, Demetrius Johnson, if we're talking about GOAT all weight classes, I don't know if he's there yet.
To me, John Jones is the GOAT.
And 2 of those title defenses at lightweight were to a 45er, so it kind of like You know?
MMA Guru broke down the highly anticipated matchup between Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry at UFC 330, focusing on Islam's dominant stretches and the toughest moments Garry faced inside the octagon. The major question was whether this was simply another statement victory for Makhachev, or whether Garry demonstrated that he can genuinely compete with the very best. His reaction highlighted the biggest takeaways from the fight and what could potentially come next for both men.
At the start of round 5, Makhachev looked like a defeated fighter. Garry looked full of confidence and fresh, but Gary's a bit and was too busy trying to be nice to win his world championship. You should have been starting that round on Makhachev's ass. Immediately starting with something big down the pipe. Switched on, ready to go.
Chael Sonnen also praised Ian Garry for his patience, composure, and ability to compete at such a high level. However, he remained concerned about Ian's attitude toward having plenty of time left in his career. Chael believes that mentality can become a trap. Champions cannot always rely on future opportunities. If there is a goal worth chasing, Sonnen's message is that you have to attack it with urgency and start making it happen right now.
Fight. And he was very patient. That's really hard to do. To stand in front of a guy and be patient, to not want to go first when you're almost a daring contest. Ian did some things very well. Ian said some things that are greatly concerning. And words matter. And Ian Garry said after the fight, he spoke about how old he is, and then instantly used that as a bridge to say, I have plenty of time. And there's few things in life that I have seen people get wrong more than that. And it starts right at home with mom and dad. Mom and dad will tell their kids, you have time. Oh, you're young. Oh, there's plenty of time for that. No, there's not. You have an urgency or you don't. If there is something you want to get done, but it's not something you're willing to do today, if there's something that you know has got to get started and the finish could be something really beautiful,
Michael Bisping praised Ian Garry's outstanding conditioning, especially considering how fresh he still looked deep into the 5th round after being pushed to the limit by Islam Makhachev. But Bisping also believes Garry missed a major opportunity during the closing moments. Instead of showing respect and exchanging a high five with Islam, Bisping felt Ian should have immediately switched into attack mode, thrown everything he had, and searched for the finish while the champion appeared vulnerable.
And high-fiving at the end of the start of the 5th round. It's like, man, you've got Islam tired. You've got him tired. You're still fresh. He didn't look tired at all. The conditioning of Ian was phenomenal. Go after him. Dana said, why not open with a flying knee or something like that? And I kind of agree. You know what I mean? It's like, go out there and look to put it on this guy. Never mind high-fiving him.
Demetrius Johnson believes the fight could have looked completely different if Ian Garry had been more aggressive. Johnson noticed that whenever Garry committed to his offense, he was capable of landing clean and effective shots. The problem was that those attacks did not come frequently enough. Garry's defensive approach helped him preserve energy, but it also allowed Islam Makhachev to settle into his rhythm, control the tempo, and dictate where the fight took place.
The fight would have been different if Ian Garry would have been more offensive. Because the more offense that he is, the more offense he puts out there, the more Islam has to worry about. Each time Ian Garry was offensive, he was landing shots. But that was the problem. He wasn't offensive enough in order to make a difference or in order to zap Islam Makhachev's gas tank.
Sean O'Malley had an explosive reaction as Islam Makhachev began connecting with heavy shots against Ian Garry. O'Malley immediately reacted as though the exact scenario he had predicted was unfolding in real time. As Islam continued taking control and Garry found himself in serious danger, Sean's excitement and disbelief captured just how quickly the momentum had shifted inside the octagon.
That could have been bad, Mai. Oh! Islam just kicked Ian! I said that would never happen! I literally said that it would never happen! I literally called it! I literally said that. Oh my God! He's cracking him! He's cracking him! Oh my God! I literally called this! 2 minutes, I literally called this. Holy hell, Bert.
Ariel Helwani believes Ian Garry did enough offensively to make the contest competitive, but he is already looking toward the consequences of what happened next. With Dana White questioning Gary's killer instinct, Helwani wondered whether those comments could affect Ian's chances of receiving another immediate title opportunity. Helwani still believes Garry belongs among the elite, but if the criticism from Dana continues, his road back to another championship fight could become significantly more difficult.
My fear for Ian would be, because of Dana's attitude, this lack of killer instinct, does that now obscure him from title shots in the future? Is Dana going to use that as a stick to beat Garry with? Look, the same way we've kind of seen, not in the same circumstances, but we've seen over the years with Bilal, with Leon, with Arman Sarukian, in the lightweight situation. That would be my concern if I was with Ian, because I'm sure Ian wants to get back in there as soon as possible. He certainly did after he lost to Shavkat. I would say he would be open to opportunities to get himself back in that mix. I would just wonder if Dana's verbiage in the aftermath suggests that a title shot or getting pushed to the top of the line, like he did in this situation, even though I thought he deserved it, but there were Morales there and Pratchett who were the sexier picks for the MMA fan base, I feel, as a whole. Will he now suffer because of what he put forth in this title fight? I don't think he should, but just based on what Dana said, I would be worried if I was in.
Dana White believes Ian Garry may have had his biggest opportunity of the entire fight during the 5th round. Islam Makhachev appeared tired and visibly damaged, while Garry still seemed to have energy left. In Dana's view, that was the moment Ian needed to unleash everything, push forward, and hunt for the finish instead of showing respect to the champion. White believes that could ultimately become the moment Garry looks back on and wishes he had handled differently.
I felt like, I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct in that 5th round, you know, he had been beating him to the body. Islam's whole, I think, right side was beat up. His face was beat up. You don't come out and hug and shake hands in the fight. That shit drives me fucking crazy when there's so much at stake, and there's also you know, a lot of mental you know, gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it in this game. You come out in that 5th round with a flying knee or something crazy and you try to finish the fight. I think that this is one of those fights that Ian will go back and watch and say, wish I could do that over.
Israel Adesanya was once again amazed by Islam Makhachev's ability to control the fight. He described Islam's command of crucial positions as being on another level, highlighting how effortlessly Makhachev could establish control and dictate the exchanges. Adesanya also emphasized the importance of staying active and continuing to move, reinforcing why Islam's combination of control, composure, and technical ability makes him such a dangerous opponent.
He just held it. He's like, nah. Activate back. Oh! Fire! Oh, this is levels.
Opponent. If you enjoyed these UFC reactions, fight breakdowns, and fighter opinions, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more MMA coverage. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next major reaction, shocking moment, or in-depth fight analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.